Welcome to Gentle Restorative. My name is Sandra, and this sequence is all about your hips. So, close your eyes, send those hips some love, affection, compassion. They might be a little tired by the time we're done, but that's okay. We'll all live to tell about it. Take a deep inhale through the nose, big exhale, and just start to settle into your space. So, what I want you to know about hip pain and hip issues before we get into this sequence is that if you Google something like yoga for hip pain or yoga for hip issues, what you are mostly going to come up with are hip opening poses. And that is okay if your issue has to do with tightness. But my hip issues don't have to do with tightness. When I get into some of the open poses these days, as I get older, that's when my hips start to argue. So be very careful about knowing what it is that you should actually be doing for your hips. It might not be the hips. It could be the pelvic bone. It could be the sacrum. It could be weak muscles surrounding the hips. It could be the quads. It could be, the piriformis. So take that all into consideration. What we are going to be working on today is, yes, we're doing hip openers anyway because so many of the poses directed toward hips, we already do virtually in every class. So we're going to do those as well. However, I am integrating this sequence with hip strengthening exercises because I think that might be a large part of the issue for people. And frankly, even if you're saying, no, I have tight hips, you need both anyway. So do what you can do. I mean, a full class of hips is going to be challenging. Your hips are going to get tired. Take a break when you want to, stop when you want to, and just listen. We'll get to Shavasana eventually, and we'll do a fabulous guided meditation to reward ourselves for what we're doing in class. Sound good? I just heard you all say yes, so we're moving on. Take a deep inhale. Another loud exhale. Inhale, take the arms all the way up, bring the palms together, and release them home to your heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. We're pausing here to set an intention for the practice, for our day perhaps, and I encourage you to send a little extra love to the hips. When you're done, release your hands. We're starting off on our back. Have your strap nearby, and before you lay down, will you just go ahead and put a loop in it? We'll be playing around with the strap, and in some of these poses or stretches or strengthening exercises, I'm going to let you know when it might be a good idea to get an exercise band, which we don't really typically use in yoga, so I didn't want to pull one out and be the only one here with one. So some of these are really going to help strengthen if you have that elastic band around your thighs or your ankles. So I'll let you know when those poses show up. Have that strap next to you. And then, I'm sorry, you don't need any other happy props right now. I'm finding this fun. Okay, go ahead and lay back. Hug the knees into the heart. And you might just want to rock around a little bit, soften the low back. Perfect. And then let's just go ahead and start by setting that left foot down, stretching the right leg up to the ceiling. So either use your hands to hold the leg there, or you can use the loop in your strap to catch that foot. Just starting with a very basic hamstring stretch. The hamstrings need to be stretched out to help you out with the strengthening muscles, the strengthening exercises for the hips. So we'll do a few different types of hamstring stretches. So I want you to notice here, does it already feel tight? Are we happy here? As always, if you're tight right now, leave the left knee bent. If this is fine, stretch the left leg out. what I want you to be cautious of when you stretch out that leg is, does the left thigh want to lift off the ground? If it does, it's trying to accommodate. So either actively push the back of the left leg down without locking the knee, or choose to rebend it. All right, that top foot is flexed, right? That was a rhetorical question. Breathe here. We're just going to stay right here for a moment. We're not even going to pull the leg in. I don't want to intensify this at all. I just want to have a happy stretch going on. So as we go through this sequence, I want you to start to gauge, if you're not already aware of it, what is the difference for you between a good stretch and one that ventures into being too much, because we don't want to go there. All right, one more breath. We're going to very slowly, with the low back being pulled down, hug both knees into the heart. So the reason I say that about the back is, if you have back issues and you need to arch the spine to pull the legs in, meaning our core is a little weak, that's going to throw off the low back. You're not going to be happy with me later. So low back down, then pull both knees in together. If that doesn't work for your body, one knee at a time. All right, rock this out. We're setting that right foot on the mat, left leg up. While you're gauging how this hamstring feels, you can close your eyes. You can focus on the breath. After we give this leg a moment, then decide if you want to keep the right leg bent or you'd rather stretch it out. Remember, if you choose to stretch out that right leg, keep the back of that thigh pushing downward. Pull the low back down and slowly draw both knees into the heart. Rock it out. And then from here, let's go ahead and open the arms out wide. I'm going to keep my one arm in scarecrow since the wall is in my way. I'm gently going to drop both knees down to the left. So we're coming into a supine twist. Turn the head to look over the right shoulder. And so when you're thinking about how can I stretch out my hips, I think the first more obvious idea we go to are these hip openers, but we also need to keep, the hips straight as well, together, level. This is one of those poses. We took the legs over together. And so we need to work all the muscles around the hips, not just work on opening out the legs like in cobbler, right? Like I said, we'll do both, but I want you to start to see the difference. And with your eyes closed here, let's start to visualize sending an orange energy into the hips, into the ball and joint sockets, right? Orange is the color of the sacral chakra, which incorporates the hips, and so that's a healing energy for that area of the body. All right, deep inhale. Cleansing exhale. Draw the core in. Both knees back to center or one at a time if you know that's what you need to do. We'll keep the arms out wide. We're slowly going to drop the knees to the other side. Head's going to look over the left shoulder. Once you're comfortable, close your eyes and let's go back to envisioning this beautiful orange energy. And you don't have to keep that orange confined to the hips. Let it spread across the sacrum, through the tailbone, maybe even the low back. Take a couple more breaths here. And then a deep inhale, cleansing exhale. Pull the core in, bring both knees back to center, and hug them in. So how do you know if your issue is tight hips, overly open hips, or it's not the hips at all, it's actually a different part of the body but nearby? I have no medical training, so I am not even going to go there. I would just tell you that if you start to notice where your pain is, you can Google that, and that might help you figure out, oh, I need to work on the outer thighs, or no, I need to work on the groin muscles or the inner thighs. And that's how you kind of start to narrow it down, and just really paying attention. So go ahead and set the feet down, hip distance apart. We're going to prep for bridge. So what I want you to do is, once you're ready here, get the low back down, feel the hips tipping up just a little bit, the pelvic bone tips up. I want you to focus on your heels. So pushing the heels into the earth. Go ahead and inhale, lift up into bridge. We're going to hold it right here for a moment. This is a good pose for keeping the hips level. And if when you come up into bridge, you feel like one side pulls up the other side, then that gives you a clue, obviously, right, as to which side's stronger, which side might be weaker. The other thing I want you to think about, and I'm not going to tell you which is right because I think it's going to vary, but some websites will say, well, come up in bridge and squeeze the glutes. Other websites will say, don't squeeze the glutes actually in any yoga pose because the glutes will kick in when they need to. So I leave that up to you. If you feel like you need to tighten a little bit to hold this pose, go ahead. If you feel like, no, that's not for you, then you have that option as well, right? Inhale here. Exhale. Let's release down. We're just going to pause here, relax, take a breath. Perfect. Inhale, push the heels into the ground, lift the hips. So this would be a good pose to use one of those elastic bands around the thighs. You would be able to gently push out into that band. And we'll do that with the strap as well. It just doesn't give us any resistance, right? But that'll help strengthen the muscles. Breathe. Exhale, come on back down. And we can vary that up too, right? Sometimes we put a block between the legs and we squeeze in. So squeezing in and then pushing out into an elastic band or strap, or using different muscles. Okay, so what I want to do here is go ahead and wiggle the feet just a little bit closer together so you have support. Push the heels into the ground, lift the hips. Get that left foot stabilized, find your balance there, and then pull that right knee in towards you. Okay, so this is going to be a one-legged bridge. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower the hips, keep them level. Inhale back up. So if you wanted to, you could straighten this leg up to the ceiling. It just, I don't know, doesn't really add much for me, but if you want to straighten the leg and go up and down, that's fine. If you prefer to keep the knee bent, that's fine as well. So keep going. Inhale, lift up. Exhale it down. So we are strengthening here. You are smiling, right? Everybody's breathing. No one's holding their breath. We're all thinking how much fun this is. All right, one more. Good job. Hug the knees in, rock it out. All right, set those feet back down. Remember, keep them a little bit closer because we need that right foot then to stabilize our balance. Push the heels into the earth, lift the hips, and then pull that left knee in. Inhale here. Exhale it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Keep going. All right, let's do two more. Good job. Hug the knees in, rock it out. So I still want to continue with bridge a little bit, but I want to give you a break as well. So we will come into a hip opening pose, set the feet down together. You might want to grab your blocks if they're nearby, and then let the knees fall open into Supta Baddha Konasana. Again, how do you know if you need something under your legs? If you have to hold the muscles to keep the legs steady in this pose, put something underneath them, right? And so, or maybe, if you have issues with when the hips are too open, that's when your pain kicks in. Well, maybe then you should also prop the legs up as well so they aren't just being pulled down by gravity. All right, close your eyes here. And then let's take our focus to the breath. As usual, I'm going to just give you random numbers. You change them as you see fit. Let's try to inhale to the count of 8, exhale to the count of 12. Change the numbers if you need to. One more cycle of that controlled breath and then let it go. And I want you to keep coming back to working with that orange energy. Each time we're holding a pose, fill the hip space and the space between the hips literally with that orange energy. Make it a healing vibration, loving, compassionate. And then let's take the hands right underneath the backs of the legs and help push them back up together. Okay, hug the knees into the heart. And then can we go ahead and grab that strap? We put a loop in. If you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. Just do the pose along with us. Feet are going in that loop. And then tighten the strap so that the legs stay hip distance apart, all by themselves. Now I'm pushing pretty hard into that strap, so I want it to give me some tension here. Now, go ahead and set your alignment for bridge. Push into the strap. Push the heels into the earth. Inhale, lift up. So, does that feel different? Right? How does it feel different? Why? Where? Exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift it up. Keep the hips level. Exhale it down. One more. So when the hips come back down, I want you to lift the balls of your feet up off the ground. Stay on your heels. Push back out into the strap. Inhale, lift up. So in listening to your body, you need to gauge everything. I've mentioned before in classes that bridge pose bothers my knees. My knees are not happy about this situation, so if you're in the same boat, come back down, set the feet down, come up on the balls of the feet rather than the heels. All right, inhale. Exhale it down. I would so much rather you listen to your own body and do what you need to do than push through something just because it might have a benefit. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale it down. One more. Perfect. Okay, set the entire feet down, whichever way you have them, and then wiggle both feet forward about, I don't know, 6 inches maybe. Push out into the strap. Push the heels into the earth. Lift on up. Exhale it down. So you see, the hips really aren't always just about the hips. We have got to work, keep going by the way, we've got to work on strengthening all the muscles that surround them. Keep going. And just noticing, you know, is this easier? Is it harder? Do you feel this somewhere else? Next time you come down, move the feet out again. And in fact, let's come back up onto the heels. I'm going to see if this is easier on my knees because they're not as bent, and you determine that for yourself as well. So you should feel this one. This should be a little more challenging, right? Keep going. Keep those feet flexed. Let's do 2 more for fun's sake. Good job. Come on down. Ah, straighten out the legs. Close your eyes. Let everything go. Breathing in that orange vibration. Letting go of whatever you need to on the exhale. I promise we're done with bridge. So go ahead and scooch those feet back in so that you can get the knees in towards you and slide the strap off of your legs. Now, before I set that strap down, I'm just going to have it ready for when I need it next, which I'm going to widen it. This is going to be different for all of us, but I guess that looks like about 2 feet. And then I'm just going to set that off to my side for right now. We're going to roll onto our left side. There's a lot of fun things we can do on our sides to help strengthen the outer thigh muscles and the inner thigh muscles. So smile, get ready for some fun. Okay, I need you to be in a straight line. So make sure you look down the body all the way up to the elbow. I'm going to move my elbow back just a touch. All good? Okay, take that top foot and I want you to point. Oops, I've got props in my way. A little bit. Point that foot. Toe tap in front of the bottom leg. Toe tap behind. And, you know, see how far you can get back there. But don't impinge the low back. Go ahead, take that foot forward. Take it back. Maybe you can close your eyes here without losing your balance. Connect the movement with the breath. So you decide, are you inhaling, coming forward, or are you exhaling? Doesn't matter to me, you choose. Let's do one more. And I know I am throwing a lot of exercises at you in this sequence, so rest that leg on top. This will be up on YouTube, so you can go back and kind of see which ones you like, which ones worked for you. Doesn't mean they all do. Okay, we're going to bend the knees softly. I don't have them at 90 degrees. Glue the feet together, and then open up that top knee. And then we're going to exhale lower. So this is one of those stretches where you could use that elastic strap around the thighs. Keep going. You probably already feel this is going to work the outer hip. There's a lot of fun things we can do here. Couple more. I don't want to tire you out too much since the hips are our sole focus. Okay, close that leg. Just let it collapse there for a moment. Close your eyes. Bring in that orange light to the right hip. Okay. Keeping the feet together, lift the feet up into the air. Feet will stay together. Open up that top knee and close it. So again, as you keep going, you could use that elastic band around the thighs. You could also, this is a little challenging, put like a small ball, like a tennis ball or something, between your feet, because then you've got to squeeze down to keep that ball there, right? So you've got options. Are we feeling this yet? I'm just imagining that I'm hearing everyone say no, keep going, so we can keep going. 2 more. Good job. Relax the legs down, close your eyes. Okay, so still working with the right leg. I want you to come onto your back. We're coming into supine pigeon, so bend that left leg, right ankle up on top. When you're ready, draw that left leg in. So of course, you know, a traditional pigeon pose is definitely a hip opener, right? This is more compassionate, gives you a little bit more control, I feel, over the stretch in the hip. And then I'm going to let go with my hands, keep the legs as they are. Take the left hand to the right foot. It's just to help us guide. And so if you want to, you could set the left foot back down to give you some support, or you can keep the leg lifted. We're dropping the legs to the left side. So you decide what is best for you. I want the bottom of that right foot to find the ground. I'm going to take the right arm into scarecrow. See if you can get that right shoulder to stay down on the earth. And then there's a few things we can do here to play. Let's start by taking the left hand to inside the right knee. I'm just with my fingertips, just gently pushing that knee away from me. It barely moved, right? Yet I can feel that in my hip. So you figure out what's good for you, and if none of that is good, let go, right? And then if you want to, you could let go with that left hand, put the left hand up on top of that right knee, and start to draw the right knee in towards you or towards the floor. You'll know when to stop. I hope you're still sending that orange energy to the hip we're working on without me reminding you. So fill that right hip, the right glute, sacrum, wherever you feel it, send that orange light. We're still smiling, happy place. And then I want to take this right leg and just bring it to rest on top of the left knee. That should feel amazing. And then let's go ahead and open up the top leg first. Set that foot down, let the bottom leg follow. Realign yourself here. Still working on that poor right leg, but it's almost done, I promise. So I'm going to actually hug the left knee in. I know I said right leg, but we are working on the right leg. Hang on a second. I want you to hold this leg here with the right hand. The left hand is going to reach down alongside me, and I'm going to wiggle my right foot over until the hand and foot find each other. Now, if they're not going to find each other, I want you to pause here. I want you to grab your strap and catch that right foot. And then we can hang on to the strap rather than having to constrict our body so much to get the foot if we don't feel we can grab it, right? Okay, so right hand is pulling the left knee in. Left hand is grabbing the right foot, or the strap is. Now, this is going to be kind of a strong quad stretch, so very slowly drop that right knee down while you're hanging onto the foot. And you know, if you're using the strap, it makes it a little easier to adjust where you need that leg to be. So this should be a good stretch. It shouldn't be, oh Lord, how long are we going to be here, right? I definitely feel this in my right quad, but it's not too much. It's okay. I can breathe through it. But then I also want you to kind of notice, are you using the right muscles in that leg to hold the leg in place so the stretch doesn't get any more intense? What would happen if you just relax that leg? Breathe. Your mantra is, I love my hips, they love me back. Keep going. All right, deep inhale. Cleansing exhale, let go of the right foot. Go ahead and stretch that leg out onto the mat. Let the left leg follow. Don't worry about that strap. It's still around the ankle. Doesn't the right leg feel awake now? It's good. All right, I'm going to have you roll onto your right side. If that strap is around your foot, go ahead and move it. I need to turn around. Again, will you make sure that you're a completely straight line from your elbow to your feet? And then you're pointing that top ankle. Toe tap it. Oh, I keep running into props. Toe tap it in front. Bring it behind. Keep going. Link it with the breath. Let's do one more. And then settle that top leg on top of the bottom one. Draw the knees in, but not at 90 degrees, just a soft bend. Right? Keep the feet together and on the ground. Lift that top knee. Exhale it down. Keep going. So remember, we could use an elastic band around the thighs. That would definitely add some, it would add something, wouldn't it? Orange light, left hip. I know you're probably wondering where the restorative part of this class is. That's going to be the guided meditation, but take heart that we can do all these hip exercises, right, without getting up. Okay, bring that top knee down, lift the feet, resume. And again, remember, we could add the strap, we could add a ball between the feet. You got one more? Okay, release, close your eyes. Okay, come on to your back. Supine pigeon. Right foot on the ground. Left ankle on top of the right thigh. Thread the needle with the arms. So threading through the hole you made and drawing the legs in. Orange energy moving into the left hip, left glute, low back. And then take the right hand to the left foot. Let go with the left arm. Take that arm into scarecrow. And again, you can either bring both feet or legs down to the right at the same time, or if it would be better for you, set the right foot down and then drop the legs over. Our goal is to get the sole of that left foot down to the floor. Just pause right here. stay here if you want to, or take the fingers on the right hand and just gently push them into the left knee. I'm just gently pushing that leg away from me. It's not going to take much to feel this. And then as that right hand retracts, I'm going to bring it up on top of that left knee and very slowly start to pull this knee down towards the floor. So you stop when you need to. And then the right hand's going to let go so that this top leg can just comfortably settle on top of the bottom leg. Right? That's quite a twist. And then we're going to bring that left knee up first so the foot can find the mat, and then the other knee. Bring the arms back down, realign everything. And then hug the right knee in. Hang on with the left hand. The right hand's dropping down alongside me. Remember, the left foot's going to scooch over, and the hand and foot are going to see if they can find each other. Again, grab your strap if that will help you out here. And then very slowly drop that left knee to the ground for a most fabulous quadricep stretch. Breathe into it. Try to relax that leg. All right, one more breath. As you exhale, let go of that bottom foot. Slowly straighten that leg out. And then stretch out the right leg. Close your eyes. See, doesn't this pose make it worth it, right? When you just feel all that sensation just softly dwindling away. We haven't even gotten off the ground yet. This is all good. All right, hug the knees into the heart. Rock it out side to side. When you're ready, tip on over into a fetal position. Stay there for a breath or two and then make your way back up. All right, once you have risen, let's come onto table, hands and knees. Cat-cow is pretty darn good for so many things, low back issues, but this is also going to help you out with the hips, so keep going. Come back to a neutral spine, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, and walk it out when you get there. Deep breath in. Let it go. When you're ready, we're coming down into Balasana, child's pose. Stretch out the arms, rest the forehead, and settle in. So you're going to notice child's pose is a hip opener here. So if this is too much, or we've worked the hips already too much and you are not enjoying this, bring the knees in together. right? You could take the arms behind you in that embryo. So give the hips a break if it's just a little bit too much. Let's just stay there for a moment. All right. I'd leave you there longer, but I have so many other great exercises and stretches in my head that we're never going to fit them all in before our guided meditation. So I want to at least show them to you. So come on back up into table. I want you to shift your weight into the right leg. That left leg, keep the knee bent and just lift it out behind you, right? So kind of like little donkey kicks. Now, what you could do later, or when you're rewatching this on YouTube, put that elastic band around the thighs and then do this, right? That'll add some fun and excitement. So the other thing that we can do while we're right here is bring that knee back down and then lift it straight out to the side, right? Keep going. One more. And we can also add circles here. So take that knee forward and back, right? One more around. Switch directions. Hello, hips. Set that knee back down. Shift your weight over into that left leg. Little donkey kicks with the right leg. And again, if you're using that elastic strap, your leg isn't going to lift this high, right? It might just be very small movement. One more. As that knee comes back down, the leg's going to open out to the side. And then forward circles. Other direction. Ooh, my left hip is tired of holding me here. Set that knee back down. Ooh, take it to child's pose for a moment. Okay, so many hip openers we could do. Probably not going to fit them all in, but I'll tell you, you could do happy baby. You could cradle each leg across the chest, right? Lunges and lizard are really good hip openers. We're just going to come into a lunge momentarily so that we can just make sure we got a few things correct. So rise up into table. Go ahead and take that right foot. I want you to step it forward and then slowly soften into your lunge. Okay, so I often tell you, make sure that the knee is over the ankle, right? What I don't often say, perhaps, is make sure the knee is not coming to the inside of the foot, right? If it's doing that, we've got some weakness going on, and we really need that knee directly above the ankle, pointing forward over the toes. And that is where our blocks that I can't reach right now come in handy so that you can lift up higher and make sure that's what's going on. Okay. Let's just let the right hand and right foot switch places for a moment. Wiggle that foot out to the side. Just a quick reminder, this is lizard. This you should definitely feel opening up the hip. You can, of course, stay here. You can get down as low as you want to. It's going to just depend on what your hip needs, right? Let's take a deep breath here. I'm throwing a lot at you. I'm fully aware. Okay, start to pull the hips back. Let's get that right knee tucked back in so we can step the left foot forward into a low lunge. I want you to check out that alignment as you drop the hips forward. Is the knee over the ankle? And is it not caving in, right? Lift the heart. So lunges are important because you probably feel this somewhere over in the right side groin kind of area. Those muscles need to be strengthened too to help you out with the hips. Okay, let's let the left hand and left foot switch places just for a moment so we can see what lizard is. So when you have time to come back and do some more of these stretches yourself, you're familiar with them, right? And of course, lizard has a lot of variations, especially if you need the hip to be open even more. You can tip onto the outer edge of the front foot and let the knee fall wide. All right, inhale here. Exhale, pull the hips back. Draw the knee back in, come into embryo. Keep those hips together, will you? Woo. Take a couple more breaths. And then go ahead and walk the hands in towards you so you can sit up. Come on off the feet. Remember, we talked about the hamstrings. We need to get those stretched out too. So, Janu Shirshasana, where you go ahead and straighten out the right leg, tuck the left foot in, pull that right hip back so the hips are level. Flex that front foot. Inhale the arms. Exhale into your fold. So orange energy in the hips. For the hamstring, red energy. Light, healing, love. We're going to walk our way back up and switch the legs. Pull that left hip back. Inhale the arms. Hinge it forward. And then walk your way back up the leg. Okay, stretch out both legs, shake them out. Might have to do a hips part too. I can just think of so many more, but I think we're at capacity. So grab your bolster and a block and your blanket. Let's prop up that bolster behind us. In fact, actually, you don't even have to set it up the way I'm setting it up. I want you to get comfortable for a guided meditation right into Shavasana. So if you'd rather set this up differently for Shavasana, that's what I'd like you to do. Oh, yeah, that's good. So whatever makes you happy. I'll give you a moment to get there. I'm sure your hips will be very happy to be straight, neutral, relaxed. All right, I'm assuming that it was really easy for you to get into Shavasana and get comfortable. So close your eyes if they're not closed already. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Loud exhale. Feel the body softening, growing heavy, and letting go. Taking your focus down into the feet, I want you to squeeze the toes, And then let go. And then flex the ankles and let go. Tighten the muscles in the right leg. Try to keep the foot soft. And let go. Same thing with the left leg. And let go. Will you allow the legs and the hips and the feet to feel really heavy? Maybe they already do because they could be pretty tired, so that's a good thing. Relaxing. And then go ahead and pull the stomach in. Keep breathing, but just pull the stomach muscles in. Everything else stays soft. And let go. Gently draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Hold that. Keep breathing. And release. Spread the fingers out on both hands really wide and hold that. And then soften. And keeping the hands soft, straighten out the right arm, tensing the muscles a little bit. And let go. And then the left arm. Let go. Go ahead and bring the eyebrows up high on the forehead. Exhale, soften them. Feel the temples relaxing, the cheeks, the jaw, tongue, every part of the body softening, growing heavier, and letting go. And envisioning this beautiful orb of red energy in front of you. As you inhale, visualize breathing in this healing red light. And I want you to exhale, send it down into the legs. So that's root chakra. We worked the hamstrings, we worked the quads. So especially filling up the thighs with this beautiful healing red energy. And then imagining this beautiful, bright orange energy in front of you. Inhale it in, it's healing, it's compassionate, it's loving. Exhale it down into the sacral chakra, so the space between the hips. And I really want you to visualize, from the low back, the hips, down through the thighs, a very restorative healing process occurring because we really focused on and worked that part of the body. Now, offer it what you can. Kindness and love. I want you to almost feel the cells in your thighs and your hips coming back to life. Feeling invigorated, yet restored and relaxed, peaceful. And allowing that part of the body to just be. I want you to notice, is there any part of the body that is feeling tension or pain? And what I want you to do is I want you to acknowledge those parts of the body. So if we're experiencing pain somewhere, we overworked something a little bit, or the pain was already there, it's still there, I want you to focus on that, become aware of it. If there's tension or stress somewhere, become aware of that. If your body is so perfectly happy and you have no idea what I'm talking about, then allow yourself to just, it doesn't have to be physical. If there's emotional stuff you need to let go of, then focus on that for a moment. Because what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you go within the body and you scoop up all of the pain, all the stress, the worry, whatever you got going on, right? I want you to scoop it all up. And as though your hands were holding all that, bring that forward out in front of you. So that we take the pain from inside the body to now outside the body. And if the pain is outside, we're holding it, right? How does the inside feel? Is there this sense of relief, a sense of peace, a sense of, wow, that's what I could feel like? But know that you do. Experience feeling healthy and whole and healed. And then with that ball of accumulated toxins in your hand, I want you just to visualize brushing your hands together, just getting that off of you. And as you do, it all just disappears. You might visualize it dissolving into the earth, or maybe you see it evaporating into the air, or maybe it's just magically gone. So I want you to breathe in peace. I want you to breathe in health and strength, endurance, empowerment. And I am going to leave you feeling empowered right here in Shavasana. You'll hear my voice when it's time to come back. As you bring your focus back to your breath, notice how peaceful the body is, how still. And you can either enjoy that for a moment longer, or if you want to, bring some movement back into the hands and the feet. Start to deepen the breath. And again, if you so choose, you could roll into a fetal position. Or if you're like me, you'd prefer to stay on your back for another moment or two. And then taking a deep breath in, very peacefully push your way back up into any seated pose. Deep inhale through the nose. Huge exhale. Inhale, take the arms up. Bring the palms together and release them back home to your heart in prayer pose. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.